Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Sunday Morning Drives. Today we have another Emira with us.
Second Emira.
Yes, we've already done an Emira review not long ago actually, and this is a different one, right?
Yep.
What's the difference, Ron?
Well, the difference is in the drivetrain. So this is the 2-litre turbo with the dual clutch transmission. And the engine and transmission are actually from Mercedes. It's from the A45.
It's a full aluminium block,
right,
with a single turbo. It's quite a large turbo.
Yeah.
It's one of the most high-powered 4-cylinder turbo engine out there, right?
I think at one point it actually had the world record for the most powerful engine per litre capacity, and also a bit of a comparison with Frank's Exige as well.
So this is my car, and I just bought it out here. Just do a very quick static comparison to the Emira, just to see how far the Emira has come from the Exige era.
Alright everyone, so we're going to start from the front of the Emira. So as you can see, there's actually a lot of DNA between the Exige and the Emira, and you get all these big vents in front of the Emira, and that's because the radiator is still under this front panel, and because of Lotus's porous design, you get all the airflow from the front going through these holes from the side of the car. And it's very similar on the Exige as well, because you also get these big vents, and you get the big radiator under here, and then all the airflow goes up. Okay, and the other thing about the Emira is that it's actually a bit taller and a bit higher than the previous cars. You can see the ride height here is much taller compared to the Exige. And that's actually a good thing, because the Exige, you do have to be really careful going over bumps, going over speed bumps, going into driveways. But with the Emira, it's a little bit easier to do that. The other thing that we've noticed is that this Emira has the brand new Lotus logo with the black at the background.
Very nice.
Yeah, it looks quite smart. And then obviously with the Exige, we've got the older Lotus logo with the green background. The other thing that we want to compare is the headlights, because that's also a big step in technology. So the Emira has full LED headlights, which look really nice, look pretty amazing.
A lot of details in them, eh?
Yeah, you get the logo in the middle there, which is quite nice.
Very nice.
Whereas with the Exige, we get really old halogen dip beam and high beam, and just a few LEDs for the indicator and the daytime running lights. Okay, one more thing to mention is that this car has front sensors, which is also really nice when you have a sports car, because sometimes you don't really know exactly how close you are to the thing in front of you. And it's also got rear sensors and a reversing camera, whereas our cars only have the reversing sensors, the rear sensors. No camera at all, right? No camera, yeah, which is a bit scary. So the Emira has 20-inch wheels both front and back, whereas the Exige has 17-inch wheels at the front and 18-inch wheels at the back. And then the width of the door and the width of the car, the Emira is a little bit wider, just to accommodate a bigger cabin, because the Exige does have a very small interior. And then we've also got the new door handle design. So this is an integrated door handle. Okay, so just talking about this vent down here, the air actually goes through this vent and then into the wheel arch area. And then there's actually another vent at the end of the wheel arch that goes through this vent over here. So all the hot air can actually exit out of the car as well. So I really like the taillights on the Emira. The taillights look much more modern. They're obviously LED taillights as well. We've also got quite a porous design back here as well. So we've obviously got vents over here. We've got the vent that we've just talked about going to the wheel well, and we've got the sensors for reversing. We've got dual exhausts, which is a little bit different to the Exige. Exige just has a single exhaust in the middle. And then talking about the engine cover or the boot, so we've obviously got a glass top on the Emira. Unfortunately, you can't actually see the engine in the 2-litre 4-cylinder, whereas you can in the V6, so that's a little bit of a difference. And if we open the boot here, you'll see that you've still got quite a big boot for the Emira, and then we've also got these vents on the side that help to escape hot air from the engine bay. Okay, so obviously with the Exige, the rear is a lot more simple compared to the Emira. We don't have those big vents on the side. Like I said, we've only got a single exit exhaust, and the diffuser is just kind of bolted on. It works, it's very functional. And then in terms of the boot cargo area, Obviously the engine bay is very exposed, and then the boot area is a little bit shallower and I think a little bit smaller.
All right, just to quickly show you how easy it is to get out of the Exige. So what you have to do is put your right leg out first, put your left hand, and push yourself out like this. Left leg in, put your butt on the seat, and you're getting like this. All right, to get in the Emira, compared to the Exige, look at how low this is. I basically just jump in like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, effortless. And coming out like this, I don't even have to use my hands.
Yeah, that's right.
So definitely the Emira is more modern, more well-designed. Material use are totally on another level compared to the Exige. I really like the steering wheel, how it feels. Although it's an odd shape, but it's actually quite nice to use. And obviously this comes with a 8-speed DCT gearbox. So we have 2 pedals for you to change gear. These are metal ones.
Yeah, I think they're metal, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, they feel really good.
In terms of the trim in the interior, we've got everything basically covered in leather. So at this price range, I think it's just right. We have like smooth leather on the top with the first edition badge. We have Alcantara down here and smooth leather down here. So it's all very layered. And then let's talk about the seats. These seats are very comfortable. Again, great bolstering on sides and very adjustable seats. It's got electric assisted adjust on the side here. We've got a large storage space at the back of the seats. So you can actually put quite a few things in there, like a small backpack, your jacket.
I've heard people being able to put 2 carry-on bags just behind the seats.
Oh, right.
So, you know, even if you're going to the airport or something like that, as long as you don't have too much luggage, it actually works really well.
So I'm going to rev up the engine and let you hear the static exhaust noise. One really good thing about this is there is no rev limiter.
You have all these different screens, especially for performance. So you can look at your Gs, you can look at your power, you can look at your boost percentage. I think that's different from the V6. There's actually a boost percentage.
If you rev it.
Woo.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
look at that. Even static, it still tells you.
Very, very good, huh?
Yeah. And then you've got some media controls and also your tire pressures over here as well.
I wish I had that in my Exige, the tire pressure thing.
Yeah, the tire pressure is really nice and it's really accurate as well. And then this one, you can get a lap timer and also you can get your trip statistics in terms of how much fuel you've used. And then here you can get access to all the other apps or other functions of the infotainment system. So you can look at your Android Auto, your media, your phone, Apple CarPlay, also some settings for the car. So there's actually a lot of things that you can change, a lot of different settings that you can play around with.
And Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, they are all wireless.
And then you've got your climate controls.
And the little stick.
Yeah, the little stick man. So you can actually access all the climate controls on the screen, which is really nice. Oh, there's heated seats. There you go. And then in terms of the middle screen here, it's currently on touring mode. So you can see that on the right hand side. And then if we change the mode, you can change it to sport, and that changes the middle screen as well. And then you can also change it to track. Come on, yeah, you can change it to track, and that again changes the different displays and everything that you get in the middle. You can see that we have a little pad here on the steering wheel on the right hand side, and that actually controls the screen in the middle. So you can actually change what is displaying in the middle. So there's actually a really impressive amount of functionality.
Yes, and I like how the graphics and control is so simple.
Yeah.
So it's really intuitive and really easy to use.
Yeah.
Nothing overly complicated. You can get in the car and get to know the car really quickly. So as you can see, there's not much to it. Basically, it's all very exposed. You can see the exposed aluminium work all down here, the bonded aluminium chassis. You can even see the glue. Look at the red glue right there.
Yeah, the orange glue.
Yeah. And there's no storage whatsoever. Basically, what all you get is a little tray down here, a little hole here, and a little couple holes on either side.
Yep.
That is it. And at the back, obviously there's not much room. So you only get a very, very small amount of storage down here. We have a digital dash. This is only for the final edition. Makes the car feel a little bit more modern. My car is not spec'd with the radio, but I have the engine cutoff button, fire exhaust extinguisher button. One thing though I really love is this manual gearbox and also the open gate design. This is pretty much what makes this car very, very special. And you can see the mechanism, how the sort of the cable is pulling the gear, and sounds really good when you're shifting gear as well. Very, very nice.
So some of the really funny things about the interior, the indicator stalks, I think from a Geo Metro or something, like something that's at least 30, 40 years old, and
Yes.
they've kept the same indicator stalks from the Series 1 all the way to the Series 3.
And also the rear mirrors.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
They are really, really aged. now.
Really old, yeah. And it's completely manual. Like you literally have to do this to adjust the mirror.
So every time when I get in the car, if my left side mirror is off,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's such a nightmare to try to reach out.
Yeah.
I can't even reach out. I have to get out of the car to
Yeah.
adjust it. One special thing about the Exige though is you can actually remove these screws, and you can remove this whole top.
Yeah.
So the car becomes like a convertible,
Yeah.
basically.
Alright everyone, so we're starting on tour mode, and what's really interesting about the car is that it doesn't really feel like a Lotus when you're in tour mode.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing, you know, because you don't really have to worry about the car, you don't have to, you know, worry about the gears. It rides pretty well, it's pretty comfortable, and you just drive, and it's really easy.
And the visibility is so good.
Yes.
Interior feel is so premium.
Yep.
It just feels really comfortable.
Yeah.
Feels like you can use this car as an everyday car if you want to.
Yes.
And also, I think the cabin size is just perfect
Yeah.
for a sports car.
That's right.
It's not too cramped like the Exige.
Yep.
Like we have, you know,
A bit of space.
a bit of space between us.
We're not
which
touching
is-
each other.
Yeah, exactly, which is quite good.
Yeah.
A good headroom.
Oh, yeah.
I've got like
Yeah.
a fistful of headroom. So
Yep.
if you have a helmet on, this is totally fine.
Yep.
The sitting position is perfect, right? Really,
Yeah.
really good sitting position. You sit really, really low.
Yep.
You feel like your center of gravity is really, really low to the ground.
And the looks that you get as well when you're driving around, you know, people love the look of the car. I think they've really nailed it in terms of the looks.
Yes.
And also the pedals, even though they're metal and they move with the steering wheel, which is great for a sports car, right? So the pedals are always there, they feel good. But when you use them, like here, I'm actually flicking the pedal and you can barely hear and you can barely feel anything.
So there's no clicking action.
No.
There's no clicking noise.
Yeah, and then speaking about the gearbox, I think it works really well in tour mode. It shifts, you know, exactly as you'd expect. It doesn't hold the gears for too long.
So this car, the i4, 360 horsepower.
Yep.
And 430 newton meters of torque, comparing to the V6, which has 400 horsepower and 420 newton meters of torque.
Yeah.
But in terms of acceleration, they feel quite similar, right? Because the claimed 0 to 100 time for this car is 4.4 seconds.
Yep.
And in the V6, I believe it's also 4.4 or
4.4, 4.5, something like that.
yeah, so it's very similar 0 to 100 acceleration time. In terms of weight, they are almost identical as well. 1,450-ish, around there-ish.
Yep. The good thing about the inline 4 though is that the torque the peak torque is actually
really early,
actually spread out across the rev range. So it comes in a lot earlier than the V6. So I think in terms of pure acceleration feel, if you put your foot all the way to the floor, I think this is actually probably faster, just in terms of how you feel about the acceleration.
Yep.
Yes, we're going to go in sport mode.
Sport mode.
Yep. So you can hear, as soon as you switch it into sport mode, the exhaust gets a little bit louder.
Yep.
And I think the shift also changes as well. It holds the gears a lot longer, and it shifts a little bit higher in the rev range. I do kind of wish that we had individual mode, because I do kind of wish that we had the gearbox in tour mode, but the power and the sound and everything in sport mode.
So the throttle response is much better in sport mode, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that's good.
And it handles really well, to be honest. Like, I'm surprised how chuckable it is.
Yes. It feels really, really flat to the ground.
And quite stable.
Even when you are cornering quite hard like this, feels really stable.
Yep.
In terms of sound, I think this is good. I mean, comparing to the V6, I know V6 probably sound a little bit louder, a little bit more high-pitched, but this is actually not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think this is actually very decent sound. I probably wish there is a little bit more, could have been a little bit more pops and bangs.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we're kind of missing.
The overrun sound, which most of the AMG cars have.
Yeah, like a little blip.
Yeah, like the blip, the pops and bangs, the
off throttle.
Yeah, exactly. That is good.
I gotta say, like on full throttle, it's
quick.
It's fast. Yeah.
Very fast.
I think it's faster than the V6, to be honest.
And it's amazing how stable the rear end is. Because usually, like with these rear-wheel drive cars, I mean, on full throttle, sometimes the rear can get quite playful.
Yeah, that's right.
Right just now, you were like full acceleration, right?
Yeah, and the road was
pretty rough.
Bumpy, yeah.
And it still handled and like soaked everything up and kept the car composed.
Yep.
We are in sport mode. Immediately I can feel the steering wheel is actually quite heavy.
It is a little bit heavy. Yes.
It's a hydraulic rack.
That's right.
So comparing to some of the electrically assisted racks in some of the other sports cars, this feels very good.
It's really nice.
Feels very organic.
Yep.
And the whole thing the weight of it feels just perfect. Okay. It's not very light.
And it's very sharp. Like as soon as you move the steering wheel, the whole car moves, right?
Right. The handling is really good, eh?
Yeah.
You can tell that Lotus is just so good at tuning chassis. Less understeer compared to the Exige.
Yep.
See, this is so sharp. Like this is turning in quite hard, right?
Yep.
It feels really neutral. Wow, feels so confidence inspiring.
It is very stable, incredibly stable.
Wow. This is a fast car. I mean, driving on these back roads, it feels so good because the size of it, I don't think it's that big.
No, it's not too big.
It's only a little bit bigger than the Exige, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, the power feels just right for this car. The chassis is really, really good. Great brakes.
Yeah.
Amazing steering. Probably the only thing that I feel could be a bit better is the engine. It's just that the sound of the engine is not special enough.
Yeah.
Because the whole car, except for the engine, is so special. But otherwise, this car is really, really good. I'm pretty impressed. And I think the dual clutch actually suits the car.
Yeah, it does. It does suit the car.
Because this car, it feels more like a mini supercar. So with the dual clutch, with the quick shift, it actually suits the character and the looks, the whole experience of this car. All right, so that was a fun drive, right?
It was really fun.
And I think this car is amazing. I quite like it. It's got amazing chassis.
Great steering.
Great brakes.
And quite fast as well. Like
Very
when you're going
fast.
full throttle, when you're on full boost, I think it's actually faster than V6.
Yeah, and the handling is sublime, I think. If this engine could have sounded a little bit more,
Yeah.
it would add to the experience even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
This whole package would be pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I think if
Yeah.
it was my car, I would definitely tune it. You know, I would probably have a free-flowing exhaust so that there's more pops and bangs and more exhaust noise. And also, if it just had a little bit more power, then it would be a bit more fun as well. But I think it's got, you know, great foundations, great underpinnings.
Yes, exactly. Compared to the old Lotuses like
Yeah.
my Exige, this has come so far and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
modern.
I mean, the fact that it can compete with Porsche, for example,
Exactly.
is massive for Lotus. You know, they could never do that before.
So yeah, so if you're looking for a sports car, a all-rounder, which can do pretty much almost everything.
Yep.
You can take it even to the track if you want to.
Yeah, you could track this. Yep.
Yeah, on the back roads, do long trips.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it. Forget about Porsche. Forget about Cayman. This is a really nice proposition, right? Also, special thanks to Lotus Auckland for lending us this car to review. So if you are interested to find out more on these type of Lotus sports cars, do give Chris a call.
Yeah.
He's a really, really nice person to talk to. So thank you again for watching this video. Hope you liked it. And please subscribe and hit that like button. And hope to see you again in our next video.
See ya.